What are the 4 things that can absolutely ruin your interview? We're going to talk about those right here in this episode of How to Interview Like a Boss Remotely. I'm Ray Freeman, Managing Director of Tribe. Many times I have to interview people for different contracts or permanent positions with our company. And over the years, I've seen some pretty interesting things that people bring to the table in their interview. I've had people to show up with alcohol in their hands, they're drinking. Okay, I'm ready for my interview. And I've had people to show up unprepared. What's this company again? And what's your name, buddy? It's been absolutely crazy. I want to make sure that I put something out there to help people know, how do you interview really good? And for some people, you may have been interviewing over and over and over and never getting a job or never getting a call back. And you're wondering why? What am I doing wrong? Let's cover a few things that may be ruining your interview that you can prepare and repair to make your interview a whole lot better, giving you a better opportunity to land jobs, land contracts, and really make 2022 a great year for you in your career. So, without further ado, what are those 4 things? The first one is appearance. How does your environment look? How do you look? If either of those things is not great, you're gonna have problems because the person who's interviewing you, they're judging everything. They're not just judging the places that you worked and the way that you articulate them. They're judging the background around you. Is it disheveled? Is there a bunch of junk piled up around you? Are there people walking back and forth? Is there a bunch of background noise? What's it gonna be like if I put them in front of my client? Is my client gonna see all that junk in the background? Is my client going to be seeing you wear a beat up t-shirt and a hat pulled down over your head? And what's it going to look like when you're in front of my client? Make sure that your appearance is up to par, so that way you have a much better shot at landing that great position that you've always wanted. The second thing to consider is preparation. I promise you, the interviewer, they have prepared. They've reviewed your profile, they have reviewed the job description, and they know what they're going into. They're prepared for it. So you should do the same thing. You should have a list of questions prepared because they're gonna ask you, do you have any questions? The worst answer you can give is no, I don't have any questions. Do I have any questions? Nah, no questions for me. Oh, that's so bad. So always have a list of questions ready to ask those people who are interviewing you. Also, in preparation, turn off your phone. There's a boop or a boop. You do not want your phone to ring. You don't want Slack messages going off or other notifications popping up. You don't want that happening. It's bad. So make sure to prepare for that by turning off any notification systems, turn off any ringers. Let people in the house know, hey, I'm going to be doing an interview for the next half hour, next hour. Please don't come into the room. Give me a bit of privacy so I can do this professionally. Delivery. Delivery is our number 3 thing to pay attention to. If you don't deliver well, it can ruin your interview. So how do you deliver well and know that you delivered well? Well, the number 1 thing is active listening. Pay keen attention to what they're asking you. And make sure you're not just responding with what you want to respond with, but you're actually responding to the question that was asked of you. There's been so many times that I've asked a person a very simple question. Tell me about how you got into Agile. And that is something that you can describe, well, where you discovered it, how you discovered it, and give a 60 to 90 second answer that would concisely answer that question. What you don't want to do is go into a 15-minute diatribe about your certification journey and how you discovered this new methodology 15 years ago and this. Well, I started back in 2014 and I took a class and there was 5 people in the class and I was one of the 5. And I did pretty good in that, and I kind of liked it. And that led me over to another class that I did in 2016, where there were 7 people in the class. I was one of 7, which tells me again that, it's pretty good to be in a small class. And I like that part. And I was thinking about maybe doing something again, but that's how I kind of work. And 5-10 minutes have gone by and you're still giving your answer. And all that person was expecting was maybe a minute worth of commentary. So you don't want to lose the person that you're talking to. You don't want them to start looking at their watch or checking the time to see when they can get away from this interview. You want them to be engaged and active and interested in what you're saying, so they'll stay with you. So your delivery, listen, and if you didn't hear what was said, it's okay to ask some clarifying questions so you can get a better understanding before you respond. It's a terrible thing to give a response that you can't back up or that you didn't mean to say. You can't rewind and take back what you said during an interview. So think about your responses so you don't say something that could end up ruining your chances. Number 4 is closeout. How do you end and finish strong so that the person you're interviewing with knows you're interested, knows that you intend to continue moving forward with this process, and that you're enthusiastic about it, that you really want this job, you really want this contract? How do you leave that impression before you go? Well, remember those questions we talked about that you should write down beforehand in your preparation? Now's the time for them. Have some great questions to ask. Tell me about the culture of this company. Get to know about what it's like to work there. Find out about the hierarchy and what does it take to move between one job level and another within the company. What's the promotion process like? Well, that shows that not only do you want to work there, but you want to move up within the company. What are the learning opportunities? Is there a way that I can teach others some of the things that I have learned while I'm there? What can you offer or contribute to the job versus just what you're going to take away from it? So show that in your delivery and make sure that you are delivering in a way that people clearly understand what your intentions are. There's nothing hidden under the surface. Appearance, preparation, delivery, closeout. Those are the 4 things you got to pay attention to. How do you appear? How do you look? How's your environment look? Preparation. How prepared are you? Do you know the company? Do you know the person that you're interviewing with? Or do you know the history of the company or where that person that you're interviewing with has worked before? Maybe you always worked in the same places before and you have something in common that you can bring up during the interview. It'd be nice to know that beforehand if you're prepared. In your delivery, make sure that you're delivering with enthusiasm. You're actively listening, answering the questions that were asked, and being concise about the delivery of those answers. Lastly is the closeout. Be sure to finish strong, close out strong. Ask for feedback. Figure out what is it that I can do better next time. Please ask, what are the next steps? What do I have to do next in order to become an employee or become a contractor with this firm? How do I do that? Show that you want to move forward with them and not just passive looking, kicking the tires, seeing if there's things out there to get into. Hey, thanks so much for listening. Much more to come next time. We'll see you then.